What's going on everyone, and welcome back to the channel with Exhausted. So in today's episode what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing the bash bars into the MX5. Now you may notice the camera quality has declined slightly, and the reason for that is my Canon 750D is having a couple of slight issues. It's gone into the camera shop and it's being fixed as we speak. So unfortunately I'm filming this video on my iPhone, so yeah, I hope that it's not too much of an issue. It's just going to be for this video. But then yeah, we can crack on with the build. But yeah guys, without no further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be stripping down the interior. So we're going to first of all take off the 2.6. So yeah, let's crack into that. So guys, if you're an absolute OG here, now we've removed the seat, you'll remember about my modified fork, which we used to take out like plastic interior clips. So we slide that under there, you can see that right there, and then just pop this one out, just give it a little wiggle. That pops out perfectly, and this is a really great thing. I'd highly recommend modifying one of your forks at home. Don't tell your parents I said that, because I don't want them coming to me saying, why have you forced my child to bend the fork? But these bad boys do the job perfectly, and it's so much cheaper than going to get a set online waiting for it to come, etc. So under there like that, pop it out. We've got our clips removed, so we're just removing this this basically carpet sort of trim. We're not removing it, we're just getting it out our way. So we just expose that. We also want to take off this plastic trim right here, and the reason for that is very bloody annoying, because do I need to take off the roll bar to do that? Probably. Basically this is in the way slightly because it's flat underneath here and we want it to go flush so it fits around the seat, so we're going to have to cut a section out of this plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work out if we're going to have to take the roll bar out, because if we do, then that is an absolute nightmare. So next what we want to do is we want to take off this trim right here. It's like the kind of foot thing to stop you from scratching the door. So that's just 4 Phillips screw heads. We're just going to go ahead and unscrew all of those until we're done. Just basically got a bit of double-sided tape on there to attach that in. So now we're going to go ahead and remove this plastic trim right here. So there's a 10mm bolt right here. Got a Phillips head right up there. So just put my thing down. Where did I put that screw there? So got a Phillips head just on top of this. Now at this point we've taken off quite a few screws. So if you don't know exactly where they go, the only reason I do is because I've taken off these multiple times and I can remember what screws go where. But if you don't, then I'd highly recommend kind of organising them so you know exactly where they are. T40 right there, so we've got 2 T40s to whip out. Once you've cracked it, you can only just take it off and just spin it around like this. I find it works a little quicker. So there's one. And what I'd also recommend doing at this stage is, if you don't want to organise the bolts, leave one side completely intact, because that way, I mean, if you don't remember where the bolts are, you can just look at the other side and see where the bolts go. So that makes it a lot easier as well. And there's no point taking it all out, because you're going to have to do one side at a time anyway in essence, so what's the point in doing it that way? You may as well just be sensible about it. So that should take off our little plastic trim right there, or our rubber kind of door sealant. And this side's loose here. There's one more bolt right there holding it in, and I believe that's all, if I remember correctly. Yeah, correct. So this comes off actually around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get into that 10mm right there and whip that bad boy off. We've got this completely loose. We can go ahead and pull it right out of here. Now this should come around that part. And just pull that out. And then we've basically got this. This is an opening. We're just going to pop the seatbelt out of there. I don't really know why I've still got a stock seatbelt on there, to be honest. Defies me, but that's our plastic trim completely out. So now, as you can see, we've got to the chassis all the way around here and all the way there. So we've got the perfect mounting surface for our bash bars. So we're going to go grab the bad wheel sitting up here and all our interior trims down there. And yeah, we're going to see where this bad boy fits in. So now we've got the interior completely stripped down where we want to put the bars in. What we're going to do is we're going to get this into the perfect position we want it, keeping it as close to the door as possible. And then basically we're going to use our chalk paint marker, which rubs off quite nicely afterwards, which is perfect. And we're going to mark through our little holes. There's two there, without falling down, and two there, one at the front and one at the back. And we're going to mark where we're going to basically drill through and attach it on. So yeah, pretty straightforward part, but yeah, we're going to make sure we get this right because we don't want this to be in the wrong place. Because if the seat doesn't go in after, we are pretty much buggered. We've got holes which we don't need, and it's just a nightmare. We may not be able to get it fully strengthened because we're using backing plates to strengthen the chassis afterwards, after we've drilled through it. So we're going to make sure that we get these in the right place the first time. We've also just pulled up this wiring harness, which pops in down there, just to ensure that it's out the way. We can always put it back in and work it around the roll bar after, or roll bar, side bash bars. But yeah, let's go ahead and mark our points. So now guys, what we're going to do is we're going to look for my centre punch. And that's just basically to ensure that the drill bit doesn't slip around whilst we're drilling, which I can't find, so bear with me a second. So guys, we've got our centre punch. We're going to try and hold these out the way. So now we've got our whole centre punched, we're going to go in with a 5mm drill bit, which is already in there, just to create a pilot hole, and then go in with a 10mm drill bit, which is a perfect size for our nut and bolt. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and drill some pilot holes in the right places, then widen them up to a 10mm, and then yeah, we're pretty much ready to jack up the car and bolt everything in place and put everything back together, guys. So now we've got our 4 pilot holes done, we're going to go ahead and change our 5mm drill bit for a 10mm and widen up these holes. The reason for drilling pilot holes is basically so you don't cock it out the first time, because if you cock a pilot hole, it's a lot easier to correct it to the correct size than if just to make the hole wider, if it's like a couple of millimetres off. So that's the reason for drilling pilot holes. We're going to go ahead, whip this over and drill the main holes. Now to tighten up the other two, we're going to basically have to jack up the car and take off this wheel right there on the back. Take off the inner wheel arch lining, or like your mud, just to stop mud from flicking up everywhere. And then we should be able to access where we've drilled our 2 holes to bolt the final 2 in. But as you can see, we've got our 2 bolts there and there, holding that one in, and our 2 bolts in place there. So all our holes are drilled perfectly. But yeah, we just got to tighten them all up now. So to remove this, fairly straightforward. There's just a load of, I believe they're 10mm bolts. Let's confirm that. Well, they are 10mm, it's just taking a while to go on. It's a load of 10mm bolts, which we're just going to loosen up. Best to do is with the ratchet, so let's find where I've done this. Right there. And loosen all these boys up. I mean, most of these, as I remember from the other side, is when you basically undo these, just as soon as you crack them, you can pretty much go in and do it for hand. But we've got bolts. See what they are. We've got bolts, 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 bolts. There's a couple of bolts. And actually, these are the ones I had to remove to put in the roll bar, so we'll see the roll bar underneath afterwards. My prayers have been answered. No broken bolts today. Fantastic. So I'm not sure if you can see in there. Yes, you can. There are our 2 bolts, which is lovely. It's a little side of surface rust there, but it's still rock solid. But yeah, I'm also going to need to get the whole underside sandblasted, probably after this show season over the winter, just to ensure that we catch all the surface rust whilst it's there. But yeah, if you have a look up here, they're the bolts for our roll bar with the backing plates on there, just to reinforce it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do the same for these boys. So now guys, we've tightened up all the bolts, and as you can see, this is going absolutely nowhere. Pretty solid right there. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start to put the carpet back and put everything back together. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to cut the carpet on a plastic trim so it fits around this nicely. But yeah, as you can see, just have to do it on the roll bar to get it to fit through with the carpet still. Just makes it look a lot cleaner, I think, than having the metal exposed. So the carpet fits back nicely around that side, but it's got to be cut around this pole here. So guys, the bash bar's in and the interior is completely back together. The carpet cut around there. This panel on here wouldn't go back on, and when I cut it, I kind of messed it up. So what we're going to do, we're going to buy a brand new one, and I'm going to measure it a lot more carefully so we can cut it around and put that side panel back on. But as you can see, it was quite neat. We've got a little hole in the carpet down there where that's going into, so it looks a lot neater. Only other problem we had was the seat wouldn't fit back in with that bar now, which is really annoying because when I checked it before it fit. So there's two options. I think maybe even undo it, bolt the seat in and then try to put it back down, or have the seat directly welded in, so take off the sliders and the adapters basically, so you can't adjust the forward, and have it welded directly onto the chassis, because that's going to give us some extra room to drop it down so it clears the bash bar here, and it will also allow me to sit lower in the car, so win-win situation, I guess. So lads, this was actually carried on the next day and I finally got my camera back, so you probably noticed the increase in quality on this clip. But that bash bar's in, and if you can see here, we managed to cut the plastic trim in the carpet, so it literally looks OEM. And on the other side, this is what we've been doing today. That lovely carpet cut down there, and the exact same thing on that side up there. So both bash bars are in. The inside could do with a nice hoover if I'm honest, but yeah, it's looking a lot nicer. I've got to get the seats back in now, but like I was saying, the seats don't fit in, so I'm going to put in the OEM seats, which are there, and the other ones inside, because they do fit in for the moment. That will allow me to get the MOT on the car, so it's all ready for show season, and then hopefully we'll have time to get the seats welded in, the Sparker Sprint bucket seats welded in before the shows. But yeah, there we have it guys, that's the bash bar install. So another big install for the MX-5, and we've got loads more coming over the next couple of weeks. So I hope you enjoy that install. I highly recommend this modification for two main reasons. One, the first most important is safety. Safety is key in an MX-5 because, as you know, they're not the strongest of cars, and you know, if you get hit in the side, you don't want to die. So bash bars are very important for that. And secondly, I just think it makes the interior look so much cooler, and it's adding to the interior of the car, which is absolutely awesome. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. Be sure to give me a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It really, really helps me out. So be sure to smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe down below for more awesome content on my MX-5. And you, as you know, we've also got the turbo build on the side. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until the next one boys, adios.